So ketone metabolism is the third energy source for the body. The body would only reach out to produce ketones when it is not able to get the energy off of fatty acids, neither of glucose. So what happens is this is basically how the body would reach to ketone metabolism. First, the first source of glucose, of energy is glucose, pyruvate, acetylcholine, Krebs, right? That's the usual. So if ATP is usually, so if acetyl-CoA is able to bind to oxaloacetate, citrate will always be produced. So if glucose is low, then acetyl-CoA is also low. So what this does is that the body would need to have another source of acetyl-CoA. So fatty acids are used, beta oxidation to produce the acetyl-CoA, then shoved into the Krebs cycle. As this occurs, the body now is able to, okay, say we have ATP production now, let's just pay attention to producing glucose because it's low. So what it does is it acts on oxaloacetate by gluconeogenesis, converting it to malate, then oxaloacetate again to PEP, then finally to glucose under the effect of PepCK. So as it continues to do this, the concentration of oxaloacetate decreases so much that there is no oxaloacetate there to bind with acetyl-CoA that is produced from beta oxidation. So what happens is that we can't go about the Krebs cycle anymore because there's nothing joining to acetyl-CoA. So now again, we're faced with the situation that we don't have ATP production. So what the body does is that, okay, we have a lot of acetyl-CoA, so why not use them to produce new things that will help us generate energy? And this is where ketogenesis comes in, which is ketone metabolism. What happens here is that the body would use two acetyl-CoAs and combine them with each other under the effect of acetyl-CoA acyl transferase, or thiolase, I think it's also called like this, to produce acetoacyl-CoA. And then acetoacyl-CoA, under the addition of another acyl-CoA and the loss of CoA, would generate something called HMG HMG-CoA under the effect of HMG synthase. HMG-CoA is also called 3-hydroxy-3-methylglutarate. HMG-CoA will now be changed into acetoacetate by removal of acetyl-CoA under the effect of HMG lyase. And so acetoacetate is our first generated ketone body, which will be also converted into another ketone bodies under the influence of different things. So acetoacetate will be converted into beta-hydroxybutyrate within the liver by the effect of NADH conversion into NAD+. And so under the effect of beta-hydroxybutyrate dehydrogenase, beta-hydroxybutyrate is produced. Acetoacetate can also be taken into the blood, converted into acetone under the effect of acetoacetate decarboxylase to produce acetone. So acetone is the third ketone body. So now we have produced three: acetoacetate, beta-hydroxybutyrate, and acetone. Now, when we go and talk about how those ketone bodies are going to be used in the brain and the muscles, the beta-hydroxybutyrate is taken in together with acetoacetate into the muscles. Beta-hydroxybutyrate is converted into acetoacetate by the use of NAD+ converted into NADH2 under the effect of sorry, I forgot the enzyme here. I think it's beta-hydroxybutyrate dehydrogenase. And so it will produce acetoacetate. Acetoacetate will then be converted into acetoacyl-CoA. Basically, it's the reverse of this somehow. Under the effect of theophorase, and then succinyl-CoA is here to release its CoA and convert into succinate. So now acetoacyl-CoA will now be split into two acetyl-CoAs so that these can be used to generate ATP through the Krebs cycle, and this happens under the effect of the addition of CoA enzyme plus an acetyl-CoA acetyltransferase. And this is ketone metabolism. This is how the body would generate acetyl-CoAs to generate ATP. However, ketone metabolism can also be very harmful for the body if the concentrations of acetoacetate and butyrohydroxybutyrate plus acetone is in the blood. First of all, they will cause the blood to be very acidic. This is called ketoacidosis. Also, acetone will be, the body will try to breathe out acetone, so people with that kind of intensity of ketone bodies in the blood would release fruity smells. And if the concentrations of acetoacetate and beta-hydroxybutyrate is very high, a part of the brain called the pars posterior would result in vomiting and then coma. So this is the end of the video. Thank you guys for tuning in.